Maybe I'll do a little series of little books. These are so cute and they say so much. Hello, my friend. Thanks for being here. Today I'm going to take my own advice and create a piece of artwork that is about my feelings and what's coming up for me today, just in the moment. I'm going to choose a really hard one, of course, and it's to express how it feels to be vulnerable. Because I'm having to be vulnerable with some people in my life, and it doesn't always feel fun or great, but necessary. I want to express that. I want to sit with it. I want to sit with those feelings because my tendency is to be like, oh, I don't like being vulnerable. I can feel it in the moment and reach for my phone or reach for an ice cream or reach for something that I can quickly distract myself and feel better instantly. But it doesn't really work because the vulnerability is still there, and then it happens again and again, and it will just keep coming until I actually just sit with it and address it and be like, give it some space with some art and just give it the time that it needs to be acknowledged. We all just want to feel acknowledged. My vulnerability just wants to feel acknowledged. So I'm going to do that by making some art.
I really didn't know where to start with this vulnerability feeling and how to express that today. I started how I usually do when I'm really stuck, and that's to start with something existing to launch from, which is magazines, and started to look for words that really spoke to me about vulnerability and what I was trying to express. And a word that stood out to me first was this word unpolished. And from there, I sort of thought, yeah, you're right. It does sort of feel unpolished. You feel unprepared. It's ugly. It's kind of like very raw to be vulnerable. And I wanted to express this little figure on my front page, which of course is me. And it kind of developed into this sentence which says, she felt unpolished at the center. And to me, that really spoke to what's in your heart or what's at your core, feeling very raw and not ready for this whatsoever, or not fully prepared. Anyway, this drawing went horribly wrong. I didn't like the hair. I didn't make enough space on the little card that she was holding to fit all of the words. I made the legs too fat. It just was not happening for me, but we went with it anyway. For the center, I really wanted to collage with a whole bunch of words, just nonsense words to share this concept that all of these feelings and thoughts are inside of me. When you open up the book, it's like opening up the inside and seeing what's there, all the things that I want to say. And I felt like really covering that with flowers. And it's funny now watching this back because I can see now the flowers look like a heart, and that's really beautiful. It's sort of expressing your heart in words. And I toyed with this idea of whether I keep it rough and raw around the edges, like how we try to express ourselves here, or do I cut it to the perfect edge? And I went with that in the end. But I chose the word approval on the inside because that speaks to me about this idea of needing to have someone's approval of what you're going to vulnerably share. And that's more of a theme for me. On the back, I really wanted to capture this feeling where you extend yourself out. It's a long road over to the person in front of you that you're being vulnerable with, and they give you rays of hope and rays of recognition as they shine back to me. The words I chose here are, you must remain. And I felt like adding something to the end of that, like you must remain what? Strong, steady? But you must remain felt like it said enough. That was it. You just must remain. Speak your vulnerability and remain. Remain true to yourself, remain true to what you want to say and who you are. your authenticity. You must remain. I loved that.
Making a little book felt right because I guess it's like going on a wee journey of my vulnerability, starting with the front page where you feel really vulnerable and like you don't want to show anybody, and then really having to open up and share your feelings and share what's inside and in search of that approval, and then that kind of waiting game, that here's my feelings and stuff, and you've got to wait for the other person to respond, reciprocate in whatever way, and you just have to remain calm. It definitely needed to be a small book because vulnerability feels so big and the feeling can feel really big, that it needed to be quite small because it was overwhelming enough as it is to have those feelings, let alone start with a huge page or have a big artwork. I don't know, maybe that's more fitting for you, but I needed it to be really small today because that was all that was going to happen. Thank you so much for watching, my friend. It's so good to have you here, and thank you for your comments, your likes, your messages from around the world, and everyone doing the 100 days. Like, round of applause to you, because it's just showing up for yourself, like for 2 minutes a day or however long you're taking, and doing it every day to like give some love to yourself. Like, hey, yeah, I acknowledge you, I acknowledge your expression, and here we go, here's our space for it, our container, and it's just so nice. It warms my heart. It warms my heart. And if you're new, then please like and subscribe, because I love to know that these videos are reaching people and helping people and adding just a little bit of value to your day, because that really means the world to me. Super cute.